The recording started.
Okay. Hello everyone. I am Kamille Kave and today I'm taking over Honey I'm Home podcast to interview Vova so you can get to know Vova a little bit better. We thought it's a good idea and
Hello.
so Vova, how are you today?
Good, I figured out in Lithuanian my name would be Vovas.
Vovas, yep, that's true. Or wait, what's your full name? Your full name is not Vova, right?
Volodimiras.
Volodimiras, here we go.
Yeah, right.
Volodimiras Škonda.
Škondas.
Škondas, Volodimiras Škondas.
Škandutitis.
Škondutitis?
I know there is like the...
Yeah, there's like
Andrikaitis.
Andrikaitis.
There was a basketball
Isn't
player.
it? Yeah, you know the basketball players, nice.
Of course, he used to play in Ukraine.
Really, Andrikaitis?
Yeah.
Oh, good to know. I don't know that much about
Sabonis, Andrikaitis.
it. Sabonis is the best.
He used to be. I think
He's now retired a long time ago.
Yeah, I think he also played in Ukraine.
Sabonis?
Rolandas Sabonis?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Okay.
played in Azovmash.
Oh, I didn't know that.
One of the best Ukrainian teams of all times.
Yeah, because Sabonis was the best Lithuanian basketball player of all times. Yeah. Anyways, you're doing good?
As you can tell.
Yes, I can tell you're doing good.
You're doing good.
I'm doing very, very good.
Good.
I had a fun shoot of cupcakes today.
Cupcakes?
Yes. You want some? I can bring you later.
Of course!
Okay, I will.
What are you even asking?
I should have taken out.
You know.
Anyways, what did you do today?
What did I do today? Oh, it was such a fun day. I woke up, and then I had breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to work.
Mm-hmm.
I worked.
Was it a good working day?
It was okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't think I finished everything that I planned because some of the other things took more time. But I cleaned up my desk.
Nice.
So next week I'm leaving and I don't want to have so much papers on my desk.
Mm.
So
You're leaving?
yeah.
There.
Where?
Uh-huh.
To Greece.
To Greece?
Yes.
That's nice. What are you doing there?
I'm having fun there.
You're going on holidays?
Yes, of course.
Oh, nice. That's why we clean up.
Yes.
Ah.
Exactly. Well, not because of that, but also because
But
of
yeah,
that.
it's always nice to get your jobs done before holidays so you can relax.
Yeah, also I found the
That's
knife
super.
underneath all the papers, which is like, oh, okay, that's a bad sign,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
They tell it in Ukraine, like, if you find a knife in your stack of papers,
It's a bad sign.
wait for something bad happening.
Jesus.
That's why my bike broke 2 times while I was on my way here.
Oh, ouch.
No, it was fine.
No.
It was fine. I already got used to it. I needed to wash my hands in the puddle, which was fine. Which was the funnest part of it.
Oh my god, it's a Dutch life. And it's raining today, by the way.
It's always
So
raining.
that's not a good time to get your bike broken.
Yeah, 10th of July, it's raining.
Yep, that's Netherlands ever. Yeah,
Welcome.
I miss Lithuanian weather in a way. Okay, Vova, I have a couple of questions I wanted to talk, or topics to talk with you about.
Sure then.
So first of all, I'd like to learn a little bit more about how you started the podcast.
Oh! I wasn't ready for this.
No, you weren't?
I actually were.
Yeah.
You're not the first
It's
person
obviously
asking me
about
this
it.
question. Yeah. So how did I start my podcast?
Yeah.
Well, I think there was a period in my life when I felt miserable because I went to the Netherlands and I was all alone here. But it's not because of the Netherlands.
It
It's just
sounds like
it's mainly because I
Netherlands
moved because I moved from my home country and so just I don't know, at some point in time I started to listen to the podcast of the guy whom I also watched on the YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started to listen to a bit more other podcasts and I was like, hey, there was this guy called Lance Armstrong who used to be a really famous cyclist.
Yeah, the one
Yeah.
that went in a scandal or so, right?
Yeah, exactly. So because of his power of being a famous athlete and all this stuff, he had a lot of famous friends.
Mm-hmm.
Or friends, acquaintances at least. So he was like, he probably one of the worst podcasters, but anyway, he was like, "Oh, all right. So this is the podcast. I always invite my friends to." And he was like, "So here is my friend," and then he's like a famous name. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some of those names I even don't know.
Mhm.
But so like he was always saying, "Oh, this is the friend of mine, this guy or that girl or whatever." And I was like, "All right. So what if I do the same
Something like
thing
this.
but with my
Yeah.
friends?"
Oh, that's
Like it doesn't really matter. It can be fun.
Mhm.
The problem was, I probably was the best English speaking out of all my friends. There was the good friend of mine with whom I tried to do the podcast finally, the format that I wanted, like with two people interacting,
Yeah.
which was fun in my view. But then I couldn't really find another person, so I just started to do it myself, and it became like a 15-minute weekly news digest or something like this. So I was like, oh, okay, so this is what happened last week, blah 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 blah. Yeah, and this was like this. I think I did weekly from October 2016 to December,
Mhm.
and then I took a small break because of like New Year's holidays, Christmas holidays, all this stuff. And yeah, when I was back, it's already I started to continued and doing, and then I started to work, so I started to do it less because I was more tired, and there was another period of my life where I was like, I don't want to do anything, I just want to cry.
Yeah.
Or I mean, I just want to sleep.
To cry or sleep?
Cry just sounds like I'm just some kind of a crybaby. I'm not a crybaby, alright?
Okay.
Sleep.
Sleep.
Yeah.
That's good.
Like, I don't want to do anything. I was like apathetic.
I don't know.
Apathy.
Apathy?
So, do you know apathy? Like, when you have apathy or when you just don't want to do anything. You're like,
Yeah.
you're really completely indifferent in terms of anything. So, you're like, yeah, so that's kind of
Like
what
a
I had.
sad time of your life.
Yeah, and I needed to move out from the Rotterdam to The Hague. I started to work, and I was
the
like,
changes.
it became a bit hard to work. I was stressing out and all this stuff. So
Right, everything at once.
yeah, and I was like, I think that's one of the last podcasts was with Jeff Riao, the colleague of mine. Yes, and then maybe I did a couple of more short forms again, and then I was like, I'm done. I'm tired. I'm tired of it. It's not giving me what I
The
wanted it to do.
satisfaction.
Yeah, exactly. And I always wanted to do like the video
Yeah.
part of it, so I was like, I think it's time to go.
So you're stopping with your podcast?
I stopped with my podcast, and then I did like
now you
the
started,
video,
right?
and then I started the video one.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Right, so you stopped with only podcast and now you started with a video. But do you also do the podcast still in like just a voice?
No,
Or
I'm
only
not
YouTube now?
doing voiceovers anymore. I'm like,
That's only YouTube.
I have all the recordings, so. But the funny thing, I would do the audio as well, but I just lost the access to my website, so I cannot publish it anymore. Because I don't know. I recently checked out, like, not recently, maybe half a year ago. I was checking out the stats for my podcast, and on some platforms it was doing pretty well, and I was surprised. Like, there is like an anecdote that I was top 1 or top 2 in Zimbabwe or something like this.
Exactly.
I was like,
that was doing very good.
yeah, and like out of nowhere, why? Because I never even seen in my like. At some point in time, it was really popular in Japan for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, like
That's really
why
cool.
Japan? Yeah.
That's really cool. Is there a way to figure out why or how or not really?
I don't know. At some point in
It's
time,
not really-
maybe topics clicked or something. I
Sick.
don't know.
Nice.
Yeah, but I never really reported something deliberately for Japan or whatever. So it was just some news.
But picked up. But so, and now you cannot anymore upload it on iTunes or...
I
That would
think
be
I
good.
just need to invest a bit more time, but I think I was too lazy.
Yeah.
Honestly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So now you're gonna continue for now with the video format.
Yeah, until I lost access to my YouTube, and
And then you're gonna stop it.
I guess I'm just gonna stop. I'll go to Vimeo.
Right. But you're continuing with your podcasts.
I'm doing every now and then. I think.
Just less a bit or not?
I think so. What I did, I finally managed to create what I planned. So like with the video part, and I actually did it weekly, and I had guests, and I don't think I had only 1 week of break when I had like a half marathon running. I was so tired because it was also like ADE time, and I was like, no. Like I even agreed to record the podcast, but then I was like, no, it's probably not a good idea this week. And yeah, so like I took interviews from most of the Dutch-based beatbird artists, from a lot of my friends, and then it was season 2, and then season 3, Kamille, you even appeared there.
Yay.
Yeah, so I think that because I started something new, I was much more excited.
Right, because it's something.
Yeah,
different.
and now I think I'm just less excited, but maybe at some point in time. Yeah.
So what do you like? What are your aspirations for Honey I'm Home? What do you imagine it to be in the future? Do you want it to grow and be big and successful, or you still want to talk with your friends just for yourself, or?
Yeah, it's more of an idea just to get to know people more. I don't know. Like, it would be maybe interesting for me in the future because, like, sometimes when I was younger, I was like, oh, it would be so cool if I had a show, and, like, some people were telling me, oh, you can be a good host of some late night show. I was like, oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, so the podcast was kind of it, you know, to fulfill this sort of ambitions, but I'm still decided, like, when you want to be successful in a lot of parts, you start to be so distracted. So I just decided to be mostly concentrated on one of, like, my main hobbies, which is now writing.
Yeah, that's another topic I wanted to touch upon.
Yeah, so that's why even at some point of time, I just decided, like, guys, I'm not doing videos anymore. I just want to, like, finish my book, whatever. Yeah.
Because that's your big aspiration, your book.
And writing overall, like, not necessarily the book.
Okay, tell us about it.
About
writing.
About writing?
Yeah, what do you like about it? What do you write?
I don't know. I mean, I think it was my way to entertain myself when I just started. Because I remember it was last year of high school, and it was just weekend evening, and I realized that all the games I've been playing on my computer are now boring. So I was like, oh, well, why don't I just write something? So I just wrote the short story in like 3 hours or 4 hours.
Oh, wow.
And I felt so cool about that because it was really, really great. And like I used to write a bit when I was like way younger. Like I even started, there was a book about Phoenix. About Phoenix, and so as there was a civilization of phoenixes.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
And
that sounds so nerdy. I love it.
Yeah, and they were fighting against like, not eagles, I think, but something. So yeah, some
Phoenixes against eagles.
Yeah, they had like beef between each other and all this stuff, and like there was this phoenix guy who almost all his family was killed, but then he survived, and so, I don't know, like it was some fun, like I don't know, I was like 12 when I was writing this.
That's fun.
And I think I wrote maybe 10 chapters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and
You went far.
Yeah, and I was even like writing it with my hand, like in my notebook. So
in old way.
Yeah, I had the old notebook of this, and then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna type it in my computer. So I typed it, and I remember for some reason I was so fancy. For some reason I decided, okay, all my text should be in golden letters. So I was just typing in golden, not like normal black and white. I don't know why, but I was like, oh, so cool.
So cute.
So, yeah, and then I don't know, it then just disappeared somewhere. And I don't think I mean, I occasionally did some poems, like short, when I just felt like it. Yeah, and then last year of high school, I was like, oh, I just really feeling like it. And I liked it. So I made another short story in another week. And then I think I made like 4 short stories in a span of like 2 or 3 weeks.
Sick.
And I brought it to a teacher of mine who was, she was like literature and Russian language teacher.
Nice.
So I brought it to her, and she was like, oh, okay, so like, great that you're like, it's looking great. Yeah, and like, And my first short stories, they were like insane. They were I called them novels, like not novel. No, it's probably not the right term, because in Russian, what we call novels is a short story with a weird, unpredictable ending.
Okay.
Like
I
in,
don't know much
English,
English.
novel is like it's basically
a whole book, I think. Novel is
novel is
long.
like it's like the sick
Yeah.
like long book about
Yeah.
something. But so it was like a short story with I'm not sure how to
Unpredictable
call it.
ending.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I was like,
That's exciting.
yeah, but now I was doing like something weird. So I had the guy. I created just one main character
Yeah.
who was living through all this interesting
Short stories?
small stories in
Right.
his life. So like the guy's name is Mr. Average. I was like, okay, so it just should be average dude, like so everyone can relate.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, because he's just normal dude. Like so, and like the irony was that he like his name is Average, but all these different things are not really average. What's happening to him? Like once there was the gas station blowing and he survived, and then he like all the people from the small town disappeared for some reason, and he was stranding with a raccoon through the abandoned city. And then at some point of time everyone was back because they went to another city for pumpkin festival.
For pumpkin festival.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pumpkin festival, exactly.
Fun.
I was just having fun when I was writing the stories.
It sounds a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then I just started to do something more serious. So like there was this Mr. Average, and then I did. I was doing sci-fi mainly. Like this is the other genre I was like mainly working with. Like, I started another book, not the one that I'm working on now, but another one about like story of success of a guy, and I was like I was imagining what kind of music should play at different parts and like all this stuff, and I was like even putting some lyrics in it, and so I don't know, I like
Nice.
I was not only just imagining how it should work, but also like maybe imagine if it will be a film, how it's gonna look like a movie. So
Would that be like your big dream, that you write a book by which a movie is created, or not?
Yeah, it's one of them, and I'm like, because this is usually how I write. Because I have a picture in my mind, and I'm trying to describe what I imagine. Yeah.
Nice. And you said one of them. So what are all of your dreams about that? About like your how do you see that, like your book writing? How do you imagine yourself, like? Do you imagine yourself like world big famous author, or?
Well, I had a really selfish, I don't know, not dream, like target, whatever. So I was like, when I was 12 or 10, I was reading a book, like there was like literature, and we were like reading about another author, or we were reading history books about some other people, and usually like there's short biography of the person or whatever. And, like, and I was like, damn, I just want to be one of these people one day, and I was like, okay, so I just need to do something so great so it can be put in a book,
Nice.
Yeah, and I was like, so what am I gonna do now? So and I was like, okay, so I didn't choose the literature because of that. I mean, because I liked music, and I used to sing in like a band, and
that's another thing I didn't know about you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, like we had like one concert and that was it, but still. Yeah, I mean, I started to draw like a comic book as well. Like
Also,
there was a
right.
super cow.
Oh my god, nice.
Character that we created was a friend of mine at school, and we were like, yeah, I don't know, I was just doing everything, and I liked everything. And then at some point in time, I just decided that having fun with books is the funnest part, probably, and the most feasible for me.
Nice. I didn't know that your big dream is actually book writing. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So it's really, really fun. And how is it going with your latest book now? How far are you?
Oh, I don't know. Sometimes when I think about this book, I just want to burn it down. Like if it was a
No.
physical copy of it, I'll just burn it sometime because, like, I started this book. Which year it was? 2013.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
So
a
there
while
was-
back. Yeah.
It was the first time when I made first few chapters,
Uh-huh.
like first 4 or 5.
Uh-huh.
Then I stopped because I broke up with the love of my life.
Aw.
Yeah, the girl with whom I dated for half a year, but yeah.
But still, dark times. Dark times.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And then I picked it up like maybe a year after I continued working on the book, and then I worked up until chapter like 12.
Mm-hmm.
But my writing, and then I dropped it again,
Mm-hmm.
and and then I was just mainly writing short stories, and I went to sci-fi, and I was just doing sci-fi mainly, and this book is more like, what's happening? It's like, I couldn't even say what, like, I try to determine it, just to create a high concept for the book.
Yeah.
Like, high concept. What
No.
it's like.
Like an.
High concept is basically, so you should explain what is your book, your film, whatever is
Like a
about
little
it
summary
in
or
just
not?
one sentence.
In one sentence.
If you can
Oh.
summarize it in one sentence,
Yeah.
that's the high concept of the
Right.
whole thing.
Okay.
So I managed to,
Yeah,
and it's
and?
basically mysterious detective with elements of adventures, risk,
Yeah.
and sci-fi.
That's a lot. Wait. Can you tell me again? I need to process. There's a lot of words.
I know.
Mysterious
So it's like,
adventure.
so my novel is okay. It's like mystery
Yeah.
with a bit of adventures,
Yeah.
Detective,
Yeah.
and and that's it. I forgot what was the fourth one.
Sci-fi was there?
And sci-fi, yeah.
Sci-fi. And
Science
sci-fi.
fiction.
Science fiction.
Yes.
Sci-fi. Right. Mysterious adventure. Sci-fi.
Yeah,
Nice.
which
But
is
that's
still
exciting, right?
yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, but like, so I would say I probably now, I really writing this book only for a year.
Mm-hmm.
So I get
Like
back to this a
actually
year
write.
ago.
Uh-huh.
I was reading through my chapters, and I was like, I
Not
just
happy?
need to cut everything.
No way.
And I like, yeah, there was a group of people who used to be like soldiers,
Uh-huh.
but they were acting so stupidly. So I was like, this is just gonna be normal people.
Not soldiers
just
anymore.
just a band of normal people, just bunch of friends.
So you're changing things up now, like
Yeah,
going
yeah.
back to the beginning, or?
Well, I changed it a year ago,
Mhm.
and now I finished the book up
Mhm.
until the end.
Oh, you finished it.
Yeah, I finished.
So now you're just like.
I finished it in May, I think, beginning of May,
Ah,
and now I'm just editing it.
Right. So you're getting there.
Yeah, and
But
I'm like,
editing is tough or not for book writing? I don't know anything about book writing, so I just imagine like it's a lot of reading and rereading, or how does it work?
yeah, but like, yeah, I'm basically now trying to. So I had plot in my mind, right?
Yeah.
Something built in my mind, and I had like directions, and I was gonna go. So I
Mhm.
have a several, how we call it, several storylines
Mhm.
with several groups of characters.
Right.
So now I just need to make sure that everything is tied from the beginning to the end,
Mm-hmm.
because
But it all makes sense also. Right?
yeah, because sometimes I was making like big breaks, let's say like
Right.
months, and
Mhm.
I was like, okay, I remember kind of what happened, so now I never reread.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I should have,
Mm-hmm.
but now I kind of came to something, so I know where it should go. So I just need
Right.
to guide it there,
Yeah.
and like I just need to cut the crap and
Mhm.
rewrite a bit, and this is what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Have a nice evening.
Thanks,
Thank
Good luck.
you.
thanks,
Alright.
bye.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. So you're getting there, and then what? What is the next step? Sending it to publishers, or I don't know how it all works in the world.
Yeah, so I wanted to send it to one of the really big publishers.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But it's in Ukrainian, by the way, right? The book, or
in
English?
it's in Russian.
In Russian.
Yeah,
Right.
that's my first language
Mhm.
still. So, Yeah, so I'm finished. When I'm finishing it, I'll just planning to send it to publisher, maybe bunch of them, and I'm in the meantime with short stories, which I also like go into some competitions, sending them.
Nice, that's smart. Yeah.
Yeah, so like, you still need to build kind of a portfolio.
Yeah. Get your name out there.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you have publications, that's way better. If you just coming out of nowhere with your book.
Yeah. So you can show it. Hey, I did this, and this.
Yeah, exactly.
Similar like with photography, I think. Yeah.
Exactly.
Or
like
music, anything.
I think it's anywhere with art.
Yeah.
Anywhere. You just need to show that.
An accomplishment, right?
Yeah. So this is what I plan to do, and if that wouldn't work, I'll just do self-publishing like in e-book view.
Right.
Because Apple has like the Apple for Writers thing, so
Nice.
I can just do the book myself.
I love how nowadays like internet makes everything easy.
Yeah, way easier. So I
so
just know.
different.
Yeah, I just know I can do it, and maybe there are a bunch of book print on demand things. So like in the case people would like to support or buy a book or whatever, there can be a print on demand
Nice.
for a book. So
that's also possible. Don't know. I didn't know that exists, but nice.
yeah, I mean once when I wrote like a science article when I wasn't in like we made like research. It was maybe 20-page research or something with a professor, and once I just received a mail from this kind of a book printing companies, and they were like, "Hey, do you want to print your book with us? We offer print on demand." I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll keep it in mind."
Nice.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Super exciting.
Yeah, I know.
That's the fun stuff. I want to read your book one day.
Sure. I mean,
I wish you would write it in English. I want to read it.
once
But
I would
it's
feel that.
difficult.
I mean, I have 2 short stories in English.
Ooh.
Which are really short, but and I try to work with symbolism there. I don't know. I think people don't really like symbolism, or they don't really see symbolism sometimes.
Did you put it somewhere like out there the books or not?
I mainly I wrote for competitions. It was the Writer's Digest, is American.
What the hell?
Looks like Luca was in the toilet.
What the hell?
Yeah. Anyway, so like Writer's Digest is one of the biggest like writers communities, magazines, whatever. So I just wrote it for the competition. I didn't try anything. Just
Did you got any
randomly.
feedback already or not?
They don't give feedback.
Oh,
That's the biggest problem with all this competition. They don't really give feedback to you. But let's say I also in the meantime I took part in competition, in other few competitions when I was writing in Russian though. So I won a medal.
Ooh, congratulations.
Thanks.
Nice.
So I'm not sure to how many people they actually gave the medals. Maybe to all of those who made it through who became a nominee of a thing. Or maybe they just gave it only to those people who were like maybe top 50 or top 20, which is already good. Which is already something I can put out
No,
there.
it's already a big thing, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, so
Nice.
I have medal
Already
with.
have some medals.
Yeah.
No, because I think it's also good to receive some feedback on the work that you do.
Yeah, but they usually don't do it. I understand because it's gonna be really
It's
hard.
a lot of work, yeah.
It's too much work
Too much work on
to
everything.
give feedback for everyone. And,
Nice, exciting. I'm excited for you.
Thanks, me too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I mean, I thought if I finish earlier today, like from the gym, that I can actually work on the book a bit. But yeah, I'll probably work after.
Do you find sometimes like in the evenings or when do you work on the book?
I don't know. I was like on a 2 days strike. 2 days strike.
Strike.
2
I'm
days
not
strike.
gonna write my book anymore.
Oh no.
Striking.
No. No, it's like strike in terms of I was actually editing it.
I thought you're striking
No,
your book.
no,
I'm
no.
not gonna write it anymore. I'm depressed or something.
Isn't it how it goes? Isn't it 2
I
days
don't know.
strike?
Could be.
Today-
I have no idea. Like
2 days.
my English is not great. So.
Oh, maybe today's streak? Yeah, today's
Streak.
streak, that's probably the word.
Okay.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah,
Yes.
you were on the streak. That's good.
I was on the streak for 2 days. But
Yeah.
yesterday, when we came... Yeah, we had like the dinner with Steam, and when I
Yeah.
came back home, it was already 11:30, so I just fell asleep.
I'm too tired.
Yeah,
But
but
you try to work every day then or not?
since Sunday, yes, because I had so many guests recently at
Mhm.
my place, so I was just like,
That's nice.
I cannot work.
No.
I cannot work. Oh well, I mean, it's not because like I just. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just lazy. Just lazy.
I know.
Sometimes. Yeah, I don't know, but now I have now I put myself in the mood that I can actually work. So it's
And do
fine.
you have yourself a deadline when you want the book to be finished?
Yeah, I just wanted to send it to publisher this year, and I think I want to
Nice.
finish the editing by the end of summer.
Nice.
Yeah, just to be sure that I did everything, because I don't want to rush the editing as well.
No, but it's good
much,
to have
yeah.
a deadline too,
So-
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe like to reread it a couple of times.
So end of summer, the book is done.
Yeah, that's what that's what I want. Yeah.
Nice. And one more question about writing. How do you find your inspirations?
Oh.
Where do you search for it? Do you have a writer's block sometimes?
Yeah.
And what do you do then?
I have few views on the writer's blog. Like, I remember I was discussing writer's blog with Booty.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because he also wrote a book, right?
Mhm.
About,
Yeah.
but his book is more businessy, so
Yeah,
it's a bit different, I
some-
suppose. Because I think the kind of book that he wrote, this is more of a book where you already know what you're going to write.
Yeah.
So you just need to structurize and put it on paper.
Mhm. It's
Whereas-
less of it getting out of it's less of
Yeah,
creativity in a way.
exactly. Whereas I think when you write fiction, it's a bit difficult because you tend to overthink sometimes. But maybe it's also just me as a person. I'm just trying to overthink. I'm like, oh no, this twist doesn't sound too good. I need to think something else. I didn't like it, or no, I just need to find some other words, or whatever. Or at some point, sometime, fuck it, I'm just gonna write 2 chapters now. Just roll 2 chapters and then forget about it. So I don't know, it's really hard, and I think it's also really depends on your emotional situation, because again, when I wasn't really feeling too well in terms of my mental being, I couldn't really write.
Right.
Yeah, it was hard for me to write, to focus on something. I was just couch potatoing. And
You just want to get comfortable and
Yeah,
wake up, little round and close yourself, kind of. no?
Yeah, pretty much. So I was just lying there and just procrastinating and just watching YouTube or some other stuff. So, yeah, and I think I don't know. I'm just somehow dealing with it in terms of, like, doing sports really helps
Nice.
with putting your mind in place with everything, and yeah, and I think what Budi also suggested is like, well, you just need to work. We
You just gotta put yourself to do it.
yeah,
you know?
exactly. You just need
And then you start.
if you just sit on it for a while, you probably start
Yeah,
to work at some point.
I think
Like
so
it-
too.
and what's like the guy whom I probably don't really like have my own concerns about, like the how you call it, Tim Ferriss.
Tim
Yes.
Ferriss, right?
He also what I recently heard, maybe not recently, but maybe a year ago, was he was like, okay, when I wrote my book, I was like, okay, I need to write at least one word, and then okay, I need to write at least
Yeah.
one sentence,
Uh-huh.
then one paragraph, then
And
one
then
page,
you-
and then
yeah.
so like, yeah, so that's how you're basically coping with this stuff, I guess.
No, it's a good plan, I think.
Yeah.
Because if you put yourself to do it already and you're sitting already and then you make yourself, okay, at least one sentence, when you start, even if that sentence is kind of crap, when you start writing all the time, at a certain point you'll just pick it up, I think. And then,
Yeah.
yeah.
It also like sometimes I have no idea what am I going to write, and I was like sitting there and I'm starting to type something.
Yeah, and then it comes.
And
no?
then it comes, or
Yeah.
I type something and then I close my computer and just
Yeah.
need to walk around a bit, and then
Uh-huh.
it's starting to work.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, so your brains kind of get a kick
Yeah,
in a way.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm also like, sometimes when I go into sleep, I'm also like thinking about the book, and then it's also like imagining stuff, how it should go. So
Nice. No, that's a good one. Okay, what else did I wanted to ask you? Oh yeah, actually about your podcast?
Podcast.
Podcast. I wanted to actually ask one more question about that.
Oh yeah.
If you could invite any free people to your podcast, who would that be and what would you ask them?
Oh my God! 3 people to my podcast.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Okay, at least one.
No. Free is free. I don't know. It's really hard to choose, and I'm like, should I be really obvious? Yeah, I'll probably
Anyone.
invite. I want to invite Chuck Palahniuk,
Okay.
who is the author,
Okay.
and I want to speak mainly about about the Fight Club. That's his book.
He wrote Fight Club.
Yeah, he wrote.
Right.
Yeah, maybe it's a bit different. So maybe it sounded a bit different in English, but I think it's Chuck Palahniuk.
I
Yeah.
don't know who wrote Fight Club, so it's
Yeah, that's
very
him. Yeah, so that's
sure.
him. Yeah, I just want to talk about the book. I just really want to see what he really thinks about it because I think it's trash, and I just want to hear his opinion
Uh-huh.
because this is really the book that made him famous. Like,
Yeah.
You don't know, but it's this book mainly made him famous, and
Uh-huh.
this was his debut novel.
Right.
And
I only know the movie. I didn't even know there is a... Because we're talking about the same Fight Club, or
yeah,
not?
this is
So I know the movie, I didn't know there was
with
a
Norton and Brad Pitt, right?
So,
That-
I love the movie.
Yeah, the movie.
I didn't know there was a book, so maybe it's worth to read also.
I like movie more, even
Oh,
though
yeah?
I watched it after the book.
Sick movie more than a book. That never
Yeah.
happens.
It happens sometimes.
Not to me. Not yet. So
Well,
it's not worth reading the book, basically.
just try
okay.
reading Fight Club.
Okay, yes. The other
yes.
two people.
Yes. Other 2 people. Let me think about that. I would love to speak to Dave Grohl, who is the leader of Foo Fighters and used to
Okay.
play in Nirvana. And just because he looks to be such a cool dude, and I just really want to speak with him
Nice.
about anything, about any stuff. He's probably one of the best, one of the true to himself and like
Mhm.
the kindest guy in the rock scene, I think. And who's gonna be number 3? I don't want to go with Elon Musk because it's too boring.
Everybody wants to speak to him.
Yeah. I would go for Johnny Ive, who just left Apple,
Okay.
and he used to be chief of design in Apple.
Okay.
I have a lot of questions.
Why?
I have a lot
What?
of questions in terms of like, so their design is like, I have some questions about some of the designs, and I
Yeah.
have questions about like sometimes they just doing the same thing over and over again
Uh-huh.
without really changing, even though saying that this design is brand new. And it's
Right,
like,
so
yeah,
you want to ask why? and
I'm
how
just
and-
curious. Like he just left Apple, so he probably
He would want to talk about it, right?
he probably can speak about it more. And I think like he's been working there for like a lot of time, so I'm just gonna be curious.
How it
From
is
his
in
perspective,
the company.
yeah.
Right. Interesting. That's an interesting choice.
I try to be interesting. Otherwise, it's gonna be Trump put in Elon Musk.
Put in Trump. Yeah.
No, yeah.
Oh, nice. Good. I think these are our most important questions. I don't want to hold you too long.
You can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to ask still about marathon.
You can.
How come you decided to run marathon? And how did you prepare for it? And how was it?
I'll answer the second question first. I prepared for it terribly.
How are you?
I could have prepared better. But okay, so it started 4 years ago, I think. Okay, I never could really run properly, and I was like, so I couldn't even run for more than 1 kilometer at some point in time.
Mhm.
I was feeling so tired, or it just was like, okay, I'm just gonna walk. Why am I even running?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, fuck. I am, what was in my age then? 18, and I cannot
Mhm.
run. Oh no, I was probably 19 or 20, whatever. I cannot run normally. What the fuck? I just
Uh-huh.
need to do this. And then I was like, okay, so I just took my first 3 kilometers and just run, and I almost died. It was like 15 minutes of
Because
running.
right away you went to 3 kilometers.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay, well, it's not too bad. I'm still
Uh-huh.
alive. It's okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I was doing it,
Mhm.
and then at some point it was 5, and then it was 7, then it was 8, then it was 10, and I
Mhm.
was like, oh, whoa, it's going
Sick.
fine. And
Yeah.
there was a month when I was just running every day.
Good.
And at some point in time I just started to kind of like it,
Mhm.
because I was using this app called Strava where you can just look at your records,
Oh yeah.
best scores and stuff.
That's
so
nice.
it's, so it's kind of
that makes it
entertains
more
you.
like a game. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it more competitive.
Yeah,
And
I guess so. Nice.
yeah, so I just picked it up, and then at some point in time I was like, well, I'm running already quite a lot,
Mhm.
and I started to brag about it already. So I just need to put like a goal. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, first it's gonna be 10. I did
Yeah.
10, and then I was like, looks like it's gonna be half a kilometer, like half a marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like occasionally preparing for it.
Mhm.
I tried it 3 times, and only on the third time I succeeded.
Mhm.
And I think first 2 efforts I just wasn't ready at
Mhm.
all. Like first one was I was running again for like a month only,
Mhm.
and I didn't know how to run half marathon in terms of that I need food, I need a lot of water, and all the other things.
How far is that, by the way?
21 kilometers,
That's a half.
half, yeah.
And the full?
Almost multiply by 2.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
40,
Jesus,
42, yeah.
That's a lot. I didn't know it's that long.
Yeah, 21 is
Sick.
yeah. So
It's already half. Is already huge. Like very far.
yeah, and I put a goal that I need to run it in less than 3 hours.
And what's the average normally? Or that is the average?
I think 3 hours was the maximum, after which they don't count time or something like this.
Okay.
So I just, because I was afraid, I like first 2 efforts were fail for me when I just trained.
Mhm.
And the third one was already the official competition in Amsterdam.
Mhm.
So I was like, I'm still gonna do this. So like on my second try I did 18 kilometers, and then I couldn't walk, and then I threw up a few
God.
times, and I
Oh,
was like,
God.
yeah, that
That's
was
really-
fine. That's fine. Again, I was trying to prepare for it, and I was just started to eat more stuff, and at some point I decided, okay, so dried figs, sounds good. I was just gonna eat them while running.
Uh-huh.
Didn't really work because I cannot really eat them that much.
Uh-huh.
It turned out.
And that's
Yeah,
why
but-
you threw up then afterwards, or
No, usually you throw up when you have too much of a physical,
activity?
yeah, like, how it called, not activity, but if you overdone yourself in terms of physical activities, then your body responds like, "Ugh."
Right. Yeah.
Like to relieve the stress from the
Uh-huh.
body, mainly. And so I did it on every of my 2 tries before, but as I saw, okay, I have 18, and like I had like the cramps in my legs, and I was like barely walking on the second try. I was like, okay, but I think I can do this.
Mhm.
So it was just 2 weeks before the actual marathon happened,
Oh my
half
God.
marathon.
Yeah.
And I didn't run. I think I ran only for like 2 kilometers after this,
Mhm.
and then ADE started.
Mhm.
So I wasn't even preparing because it's just going back and forth every day. And yeah, and then I just like, okay, I gotta do this.
Yeah.
So I ate what I needed to eat,
Yeah.
and then I was eating in the meantime, and
Mhm.
like I actually needed to eat, I think, more frequent, because they were
Mhm.
putting this eating stops
Yeah.
like almost every 3-4 kilometers.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I think I did fine. I think I've been actually running until 13th kilometer,
Uh-huh.
and then when I started to switch, like walking, running.
Uh-huh. And then you made it.
Yeah, no, man, it.
Yay!
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
And it's nice that you didn't give up. You know, the first times when you didn't succeed, you still
Yeah, of course.
did it.
I don't give up so easily.
And nice feeling.
Yeah, actually, like after the half marathon, I wasn't even feeling too tired.
Mhm.
honestly. I was like, because I also drank too much of this Gatorade, like, you know, the isotonic thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it's like it's like a lot of glucose in it, and
Right.
it's just a lot of sugar, kind of,
Yeah.
and you're like, I'm still energized.
Right.
Yeah, so
And
it was fun.
next, are you doing the full marathon? You think?
I want to do a normal half marathon because I did 2 hours 15 minutes, and I want to do like 2:20 now. So that's my new goal. Just to do half an hour.
So not yet
faster.
the full one, but first make this one
Yes,
perfect,
I want to do,
and
yeah.
then
Yeah, it's still not perfect, but I just want to do like
still improve on it.
yeah. I don't think I can do it in 2 hours, but I think I can do it in 2:20 or 2:30.
And in the future, do you think you're gonna do the full one or nah?
No, that's
Not
not
so
really
much.
not my goal because I think I may try. I'll see.
You'll see.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not.
Okay.
That's maybe too much.
Nice. I can't imagine myself running a even half marathon or 10 kilometers.
That's
But
fun.
yeah, I should.
It's all about the start. I mean,
Yeah, I need
you
to start.
you don't necessarily need to shoot or like it's really
No, but it would be good
if you
for me
feel
to
it.
start some sort of sports because now I do nothing.
Yeah, if you do nothing, then
Exactly. So I want to do like either tennising or running, but I somehow need to
Yeah. Do you play
put that
table tennis?
time or so in. Table, no.
Okay.
I want to play the outside tennis. How is it?
Just normal tennis.
Just normal tennis.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be
Okay.
good.
Okay.
I need to see. Okay, cool. Anything you think you want to mention still? Anything important to?
Subscribe to Kamille Instagram.
Follow me on Instagram.
Yeah. Otherwise, she's not gonna give me cupcakes.
No.
So please.
Yeah.
Yes.
These are nice cupcakes with
Yes.
like chocolate
Chocolate. Oh,
and you like chocolate?
yes.
Okay, but it's chocolate cupcakes with however it's called, blackberries with blackberries.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
good.
So you gotta
That's-
subscribe.
That's a good shit. All right.
Yep. Thank you everyone for listening in.
Thank you, Kamille, for inviting me.
Thank you for letting me host.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right. What do
Great.
you do now normally?
Bye.
Bye.